Hey y'all, it's your girl Terrible Moya K. This is Guided in Wellness, and I'm back with another reading for the collective. Thank you for everyone for all your love and support. Likes, comments, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate you all as you support me here on my channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. Everything you need to know about me is in the description box below, and everything you need to know about services or products and how to book are on the community tab as well as the description box. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Today I'm gonna do an oracle message. I've been pulling a lot of tarot, and I really feel like we need some healing messages. That's what I wanted to get. So the two decks that I'm using are right there. I'm gonna put them down eventually because, you know, this is not free advertisement. I don't get paid to advertise these, and I don't know if I'll be copywritten for having that in my video. So either way. Holy Spirit, Mother God, Father God, what messages do you have for the collective? What healing messages do you have? So we're using the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I have another one of her decks. It's the Starseed Oracle. I haven't used the Starseed Oracle yet, but I have used the Healing Waters one, and I really love it. And then we're going to use the African Goddess Rising deck by Abiola Abrams. I use this one a lot. I love it as well. So we're going to see what messages of healing and just, you know, what the collective is experiencing right now. And then we'll pull some clarifiers with the African Goddess Rising. So let's do 3. Let me get 3 cards for the collective, please. And thank you, Holy Spirit. All right, first card coming out is Deep Sea Diving. And it says, Way of the Mystic, learn through experiencing depths. The second card out is Into the Unknown. It says Underworld Depth, Courage, Facing Your Fears. Okay, 2 things about going through the experience. And then what's the last message? The last card is the Isle of Avalon. Okay, healing, returning to wholeness and transformation. And in the pre-shuffle, the two cards came out that talked about celebration and gratitude. So the overarching or the underlying energy here may have something to do with you, collective, being in a space of gratitude, being in a space of celebration, or needing to get into that space, doing something that celebrates yourself or shows gratitude. Those actions in themselves can be very healing. Okay, so as you are thinking about and, you know, reflecting on, you know, areas that you may need to heal, or, you know, how you can engage in some healing behavior, gratitude and celebrating yourself are 2 really good ways to get into a space of healing. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the message. With Deep Sea Diving here, it says the Way of the Mystic, learn through experiencing and depths. And I'm going to read the reflection questions that come with these because I feel like the reflection questions are very powerful when it comes to these cards. And of course, we'll get into what that means for you. So Deep Sea Diving, it says, the healing water affirmations are, I trust my path and choose to see the sacred everywhere and with all things and within all things. I follow the intelligence that's within me. Nose already starting to itch. So what this is giving me is like right now, what some of you could be doing to heal or could be asking to do to bring in some healing energy is to connect deeper with yourself and with the divine. Okay. Some of you at this time may be feeling really disconnected, may even be wondering like, for some of you, you could be asking yourself, like, where did the divine go? This is almost giving me like someone who's angry at the universe, angry at God even. Someone who could be like questioning or even cursing the universe or God at this time. Maybe for the things that they have experienced, the current experience that they are even going through. And I'm being guided to tell you that the experience that you are going through is in fact going to help you overcome it, if that makes sense. It's like you're going through what you're going through for a reason. You have to experience those certain things, and the experiences are to bring you closer to certain things, pull you away from certain things, and really what I get with it is really help you like align your life, get your life and get yourself into alignment. Okay. So at this time, you're being asked to really go deeper into what, really lean into is what I'm getting. Like, I want to keep telling you that. Lean into whatever it is that you're experiencing right now. Lean into whatever it is that you're going through right now. Lean into whatever it is that is that you have like questions or concerns about. Like, lean into that. I don't know why I'm being called to say this, but usually when we're talking about healing, I feel like there is a lot of heavy energy that comes with that. So if I'm talking to someone who could be feeling like they are wanting to engage in some type of self-harming behavior or having some type of suicidal ideation, I would not encourage you to lean into that. I would encourage you to lean into the healing practices or lean into the helping practices that pull you away from that. Okay, so when I say lean into it, it's like dive deeper into, why are you feeling like this? Why are you really feeling like this? As a mental health therapist, I work with a lot of people of a range of ages who experience self-harm or some type of self-harming or suicidal ideation. And what I usually for me in my practice, what I tend to do is I like to work with the client to identify what is that feeling? What is that root cause? Right? Yes, I understand you want to harm yourself or you are harming yourself, but why? And usually it's a I don't want to say a surface level answer, but it's usually like, oh, because I'm sad, right? And so then we dive into that, right? We go deeper. We do deep sea diving. Okay, you're sad. What does sadness mean? What does sadness look like? What does it feel like for you? Where does it happen in your body? How does it show up in your life? Different things like that. Okay. Okay, and as I'm talking about it, liberation comes out number 37. 37 breaks down into a 10, which is a number of completion. Queen, Mother, Nanny, liberation. So it's as you dive into what it is that is diving into your experience is what I'm going to say. As you dive into your experience and learn from it, in a sense, this is going to liberate you because you are going to get something from that. Like I said, whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through it for a reason. And so there's a lesson to be learned in that, but this lesson is going to be very healing, very liberating, very freeing. Okay, and look at all that blue. Look at all that blue energy. Okay, this is giving me tears. Somebody might be crying at this time, or someone may be doing a lot of crying. I'm going to speak for myself because, baby, I woke up this morning and did some crying, okay? Not like woke up crying, but woke up, said my prayers, did my devotional, I even did a little read for myself, and it brought me to a space of tears. They weren't happy tears, but tears nonetheless. And I honestly, it allowed me to be able to get through my day in a different energy and in a different mindset. Okay. Into the unknown, underworld, depth, courage, and facing your fears. So I'm going to read the question for you all as well for that one, or the affirmation, whatever it is. Into the unknown, the soul inquiry says, how can you face your fears today? Okay. So what's happening actually here with the unknown energy? Are you being called to face something, or are you being called to engage in something or learn something? Right? With this into the unknown, it's you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know what's coming. And for what I'm getting for some of you is it's fearful. It's hard for you to be able to face your fears. It's hard for some of you to be able to move into the unknown space. It's hard for some of you to be able to, do the thing and not know what's going to come next. Okay. That can be like a very controlling energy for some of you. That can be a very isolating energy for some of you. That can even be like a very negative energy for some of you to have to not know what's coming next. Okay, to have to not know. Wow. And as I'm talking about it, I set comes out, surrender. I was just going to say, for some of you, it's very fearful. It's very difficult for you to surrender to something. I set is number 44. That's also a double number. Okay. Angel number 44. You could be seeing 4s, 8s, 4 at this time. Okay, surrendering is also something that could be very difficult for you. Okay, and still more blues. This has some reds in it, so there could be something here about your root chakra energy, or just something about, you know, needing to be grounded, or something related to your root chakra. Okay, traumas as well, related to root chakra traumas. That usually is like childhood energy. Okay, not specific to, but root chakra typically identifies with your upbringing, the things at your root, at your core. Okay, yeah, but facing it with the into the unknown. And then it also says underworld and depth. So some of you are also even being called to like go through some type of death and rebirth at this time. Allow something to die, allow something to be even taken away, because that's what I think in like the mythology, the Greek mythology, or whatever the ancient mythology is with the underworld. It's where the souls went, not the dead, but the souls. And like it makes me think of the show The Sandman, where there's a difference between the underworld and hell and limbo, and like where the dead go, like there, and depending on, you know, the religion, or depending on the understanding or the mythology, every space has a different place. So the underworld is where the souls go. Okay, hell, some people would say that's like where the dead go, like the dead who don't make it to heaven. All right, and it's all a spiritual aspect, because no one's physical body leaves with them when they die. It's your soul and your spirit that leave and go to other places, depending on what you believe. Okay, I'm not here to convince you to believe anything. That's just, you know, I do know that about the underworld. The underworld is also a place where, believe it or not, you, depending on how you got there, you can also leave. You can also make some trades and some, like, and I'm just going based off of what I understand about the mythology. You can make trades about with the underworld, right? You can go in as someone who is alive and be like, hey, I'm trying to get this person's soul, okay? And I'm trying to bring them back with me, okay? Some of you could be wanting to, okay, I'm getting some of you could want to take your soul with you, but your soul is being called, a part of it. Okay, something about it, a piece of it or a part of it is being called to you know, to leave, to remain in the underworld, and then, you know, you are to hopefully emerge anew. It's like you go in as one person and you come out as someone else. And that's kind of how I understand the underworld to work as well, right? If we think about Hercules, even if we go down to like the cartoon version of it, he went down there to get Meg. Hercules went down to the underworld to get Meg. He came back a whole different person, right? He went before being kind of naive, you know, being really super masculine, like, oh, you know, I'm gonna be her savior. And then he came back like with an understanding that, okay, maybe I can't, you know, maybe that's not my calling. Maybe that's not, you know, I'm not as powerful or as strong as I thought I was. And I'm not saying that some of you are not powerful or strong. It's just, you could be trying to show up in a way that isn't serving you. And so you could be being asked to surrender that as well. So take it how it resonates for you. Let me see if there's anything that I'm being called to read from this. It says, are you being called to face your fears and explore the unknown, to challenge what you thought was possible? This is a card of courage, initiation, and depth. Perhaps you're being called to make a significant change in your life that you feel scared about. Or maybe what you're experiencing is more internal than that. Maybe life is calling you to venture into the shadowy depths of your own inner journey, to face things that others may be afraid to face, to heal what might feel difficult to heal, and to surrender to a metaphorical depth in order to reemerge anew. Yeah, so basically all of what I said, which is, you know, exploring the darkness, exploring the deepness, exploring the depths. Okay, and then the last one here is the Isle of Avalon. where it says healing, returning to wholeness and transformation. So what I'm getting with like is after you go through all of this, right? After you know, dive deep into, you know, what is maybe keeping you in bondage, as I'm thinking of this liberation here, keeping you in bondage. As you dive into that, you begin to face a fear that you were maybe even unaware that you had, or were very much so conscious that you had, but didn't know how to go about it. And so it's like once you go through that process, then you start to really feel the healing. You really start to be able to do the healing in a more healthy way. You even, it says returning to wholeness. It's almost as if like you return to yourself, but a different version of yourself. It's interesting, you know, when people talk about like, oh, not wanting to change, or, you know, wanting to get back to their former selves. And I always find that to be interesting, because I believe that like if we are meant to go through some type of change or transformation, or something disrupts, you know, what we like. So basically I'm trying to say it is, if we're at point A and then something disrupts us that moves us to point B, my goal for point C is not to get back to how I was for point A. It's to be able to get to point C in a new energy or a new space. I'm still the same person. I do things a little bit differently. I move a little bit differently. Like physically, I have not changed. Or maybe physically I have changed. Who knows? But physically, there's no change. But maybe mentally, emotionally, spiritually, there is a change. I hope that makes sense. So it's like you're going through that transformation. You're going through that healing. And you are returning to yourself, but in a more complete and in a more whole manner. So for Isle of Avalon, it says, healing waters activation. I surrender to my healing. I activate the sacred intelligence within the waters of my body. I call in all the support that's most helpful. I believe in my ability to transform and heal. Okay. Let's see. Let me see if there's, it says, this is a card of great healing and an invitation to see that your healing is an opportunity for great transformation. That perhaps the parts of you that feel as if they are dying are actually being born anew. Maybe this healing journey is taking you somewhere truly glorious, somewhere sacred deep within. So this is the healing journey, is what this is giving me, right? This is the darkness and all of the things that you experience before you get to this space of feeling like, oh, now I understand why I had to go through that. Or, oh, now everything makes sense, right? Oh, everything is much clearer now. Everything feels better now. And creativity is something that could be relevant to that. Number 12, it says the 7 sisters, okay? 1 and 2 break down into a 3. So we have 10, 8, and 3 here, okay? Also 37, 44, and 12. Take it how it resonates for you, how the numbers resonate for you. But here with the 7 sisters and creativity, it's like for some of you, as you get into a space of healing, or even how you heal, how you transform, how you engage in healing and return to wholeness, is through your creativity. Okay, I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but there's something that you do that brings you a lot of joy, and something that you feel very passionately about. But I'm getting like it's a hobby for you. It's something you do for fun, or it's something you do for relaxation purposes, not something you just do. Okay, and so it's like you may only call on that energy when it is time for you to cope or manage or deal or even avoid. Take it how it resonates. Worthiness in the reverse came out. I put it back in the shuffle because I didn't ask for anything, but there may be something here about someone also overcoming feeling unworthy. As you get into your healing energy and return to yourself in completeness and wholeness, there's a part of you that is like recognizing your own worth. You're recognizing, you know, who you are, the new version of yourself, so to speak. Any more oracle messages? Let's see. What do I want to know? Or what do I want to help you understand, collective? Let's see. What are the blockages for each one? What are the blockages Oh, okay. That one came right out. Queen of Sheba. Am I taking this in the upright or the reverse? Okay, some secrets. Queen of Sheba, secrets revealed, number 36. Interesting, because with liberation, number 37, you have number 36 coming out. And then I saw 2002 on the timer. So what is keeping you bound? What is keeping you in bondage are some secrets that you may be hiding, obviously, because that's what you do with secrets, right? You hide them. Shame came out. Long Bubby Susie. Okay, Long Bubby Susie came out in the reverse. Shame, number 19, which breaks down to a 10. And then you have 36, which breaks down to a 9. So we have 10, 9, and 10 here. Maybe something about some hidden shame. Your secrets that are hidden, right? Or the secrets that are coming out or being revealed may have something to do with how you previously felt about yourself or the shame that you currently hold within. That could even be what you're going to dive deep into exploring, is the shame that you have centered around certain things. What about with the into the unknown? What are some blockages or things that are preventing the collective? Shine, Mama Jumba, number 32. Mama Jumbo, I'm sorry, number 32. It says shine here with surrender. Interesting. So what I'm getting with that is that you are experiencing it. You are experiencing these things in a way where they are being illuminated in your life. I hope I'm making sense when I say that. So the fears that we're exploring, right? The fears that you would be exploring, the fears that you're talking about, that you're thinking of, the thing that you're afraid to surrender to. Something that is also possibly working against you is how you are being illuminated, how these things are being illuminated, or how you are even illuminating yourself. Let me see. Let me get shine out of the book because I want to make sure I'm delivering the message correctly. It says, you were born to shine, be seen, be heard, be a movement. We need to know your name. We want to learn your dance. Daring to rise and shine. So it says, fear of shining brightly keeps you in the shadows, hiding and shrinking. There is no way to claim your voice and avoid rejection, criticism, and judgment, but you are not for everybody. If everyone likes you, you are not really being you. So that could potentially be the blockage for some of you, or for all of you who are resonating with this. What you're having a difficult time potentially surrendering is this need to be liked by everybody, this need to be accepted by everybody, this need to just show up. That's why I keep saying, like, I'm like, how you are illuminating, how you are illuminated. It's this need to show up as like this bright, almost perfect person, but that's not necessarily what you're needing or what's even being asked of you. You don't have to be perfect. Okay, I would encourage you not to be, but that's just me. Anything else with this into the unknown? What the collective could be fearing or having a hard time surrendering, or what is a blockage in this energy and their healing at this time? A few cards like kind of jumped and wanted to come out, but they didn't flip over. Yeah, none of them flipped over. Desire could even be one for you. Number 8. And this says ngame. Desire could be something else that you're afraid to explore, even dive into. Whatever that desire means for you, whatever that desire is for you. It could be the desire that you have for a person, for a place, for a thing, for an experience. Okay. And then finally into the Avalon. Masks, number 18. Jumbi. So creativity is what's going to pull you into healing, but your mask, the mask that you wear, the way that you hide yourself, the brave face that you put on, but not the true face that you put on, is what could be impeding you returning to yourself, you being able to feel whole and complete, which would make sense because if you're faking it, and that's number 18, 8 and 1 break down to a 9. If you're faking it, then I could imagine that, you know, you're clearly not being true to yourself. And if you're not being true, if you're not being authentic to yourself, how could you feel complete? How could you feel whole? And then Tituba, number 4, which says feeling safe, came out in the reverse. Some of you may not be feeling safe to be yourself, to be authentic. And earlier I was saying that there's something about the root chakra, root energy, potentially childhood experiences, or just previous or past experiences that have shaped who you are and how you are today. Feeling safe is a challenge for a lot of you. And I can understand that when you don't feel safe, and I can even speak to that personally, when you don't feel safe, it's difficult to be in a space sometimes of feeling confident, of feeling complete, of feeling whole, of feeling like you don't have to pretend to, once again, like I said, be loved, be accepted. And I know we live in a world that, you know, makes you feel like it's, you know, how terrible of a person you can be sometimes to want to be accepted. But, you know, and also, and I'm not saying that's everyone's experience, but also I understand that, like, people just want to be loved. People do just want to be accepted. And sometimes it can overpower or overshadow or even take over how you personally feel about yourself. Okay. So to bring in healing, or to be able to do the healing that you are wanting to do or even needing to do at this time, what I would encourage you, as the cards have shared, is go within, dive deep into what is holding you back, and then work through that. Process through it. Sit in it, feel it, explore it, so that it can free you. So that as you move into the next phase, as you move into the unknown, as you practice and engage in surrendering, you start to feel lighter about yourself and just about the things, you know, that you are experiencing. All right. And hopefully as you do that, you know, you will start to feel more yourself. And that's what I really hope and pray for y'all. All right. And with that being said, I love y'all. Bye.